4 News now at 6. 2 undefeated teams are going head-to-head in Pullman tonight. Could the team's Apple Cup win hurt the Cougs' performance tonight?
Fall begins this weekend, and I am already tracking frost and freeze warnings on the way. I'll show you which areas will be impacted in your weekend forecast.
And political ads claiming your child's health will be impacted and others saying it will help lower the cost of living. We take a look at what is really at stake if voters decide to repeal Washington's Climate Commitment Act. You're watching 4 News now at 6.
Well, Washington State is just under an hour now from kickoff against San Jose State in Pullman tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're glad you're here. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Jordan Smith. Eric Dice has the night off. The Cougars are riding high after a huge Apple Cup win on the road last week, but they had a short week of recovery before their game tonight. Sydney Berger is live in Pullman with why it's important that the Cougs get in the right mindset after such an emotional win last week.
Well, both of these teams are undefeated, and only one of them is going to come out on the other side with that perfect record. Washington State is heading into this game after a huge and very emotional win in that Apple Cup, but they have to put those feelings aside and get ready to tackle their next opponent. The Cougars have had the same message since the start of the season, though. It doesn't matter who's on the other side of the ball. You attack every opponent the same.
And great teams play nameless, faceless opponents and just live to their standard. That's the message for our guys. What type of competitors do we have at nature, in our heart, in our minds? It'll show up on Friday night. So that's kind of the messaging that we're using, that we're talking about. Once again, we don't dwell on last year. We learned from it. We moved on, understand how to attack this week. We've been successful in short weeks, I think, through the last couple of years, and we're going to need to be able to do it again.
Last year, the Cougars went 4-0 to start the season and found themselves in the AP Top 25 before it all came crashing down, and Washington State lost 5 in a row and missed out on a bowl game. But like Dickert said, they aren't dwelling on last year's results. They are only using it as fuel. A win tonight would mean the Cougs are back in that familiar place, heading into Week 5, still undefeated. Of course, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. They still have to secure that win tonight against San Jose State. Well, you can follow along on our social media during the game and then catch us post-game for that full highlights and more coverage on 4 News Now Nightside. Live in Pullman, Sydney Berger, 4 News Now Sports.
Thank you, Sydney. The pregame show is happening right now on KXLY 920. Derek Dice is hosting leading up to kickoff at 7 o'clock. And after the game, listen again and call Derek with your thoughts on what we hope will be a Cougar win.
It'll be fun to pick his brain regardless on that. And hey, some more football here, a little bit more local. There's a live look at One Spokane Stadium where University High School's football team is taking on Shadle right now. Looks like it might be halftime. It's the first of 2 games happening at the stadium tonight, and Ridgeline is taking on Lewis and Clark under the lights tonight at 8 o'clock. Chris, that's your school. I know that you'll be rooting for LC there.
Lewis and Clark, and I just happen to think I need to call my kids and tell them to wear sweatshirts because it is going to be chilly at the game, and after such a beautiful day, you might not come to that conclusion, that especially if you're 17, 18 years old. Oy. Here is your forecast for this evening. 63 degrees at 7 o'clock with mostly clear skies. We do have a few clouds drifting through. 54 at 9, and we'll be heading into the 40s by curfew tonight with mostly clear conditions, but the really cold weather is tomorrow morning. We do have our first frost advisory of the season for the entire area you see shaded in light blue on your screen. Temperatures as low as 34 degrees, and that can do damage to some of your more sensitive plants. And we also have a freeze warning for this purple shaded area. That's Chewelah, Medellin, Colville, Newport, Newman Lake, Deer Park, where temperatures could get down as low as 28 degrees. Saturday morning's lows, lots of 30s on the map, some 40s as well. There are some locations where you may see the airport temperature looking in fine shape, but maybe you live in a sheltered valley where you'll be getting down to 32 at 9 Mile, 32 at Meade. Again, 28 degrees in Deer Park. We'll be in the mid-30s through most of the Spokane area. A couple spots staying in the 40s. We do have some warmer weather on the way in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you about it in just a few minutes, Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. And we want to remind drivers, starting Monday, the I-90 eastbound off-ramp to Indiana Avenue will be closed for about 6 weeks while crews repave that road. Instead, drivers are being told to use the Sullivan exit and make a right turn to access Indiana. Indiana is also going to be reduced to 1 lane in each direction.
Well, a North Idaho man was arrested in Spokane on Wednesday for several charges, including murder and rape.
Jordan Law has been a person of interest in the disappearance of Ray Berwinger since she disappeared in 2019. Mary Sheridan is live in studio to discuss the details of this investigation that's been going on for over 5 years. Mary.
This is Ray Allison Berwinger. She was last seen in Kelso Lake in the home of now murder suspect Jordan Law, her former boyfriend. Law was taken into custody by the U.S. Marshal Service Wednesday, indicted by the Bonner County Grand Jury for the disappearance of Berwinger. He is charged for second-degree murder, falsifying a record, destruction of evidence, and 2 different counts of rape, which, according to a press release from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office, are relevant to an additional victim that was discovered during this investigation. In 2019, Law was arrested for using Berwinger's bank card to withdraw a little over $1,000. Since then, a confidential informant told the Bonner County Sheriff's Office that the fugitive surfaced recently in Oregon. Law was then traced back to Spokane. A fugitive task force from the Bonner County set up surveillance around several addresses. Law was found and arrested at a house where he had familial ties on Hawthorne Street in North Spokane, shown here just 50 miles from where Berwinger was last seen in Kelso Lake. This is according to the U.S. Marshal's chief deputy from the Idaho District, Daryl Spencer, who supervises the arrest team.
We had suspected he would hit one of those previous addresses based on the likelihood of fugitive movement subsequent to such a violent crime, and we happened to be right. We ran into him.
And here are photos from Wednesday's arrest. Law was taken down right in front of the U-Haul truck he was packing up. U.S. Marshal Service says he did not resist arrest. And we're still waiting on more information on this investigation from the Bonner County Sheriff's Office, and we'll continue to update you on this developing story. Reporting in studio, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Mary. Here's what people are clicking on most on KXLY.com.
And I see him running across those windows with officers running behind him.
Well, 911 calls brought up in a Spokane Valley City Council meeting. Several questions started after that meeting about hold times for callers in emergency situations. In this case, a man was found crawling in the ceiling of Spokane Valley City Hall. An arrest report shows he was found at nearby businesses nearly an hour later.
Can you hear me okay?
You can see the full report on KXLY.com.
Well, still ahead here on 4 News Now.
You can almost bet that if you're using a free service, that you're giving up something to have that service.
The crackdown on the way tech companies are using your data.
Plus, we take a look at the issues that matter most to black voters in our community ahead of the general election. That's coming up after the break.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
Save your greed!
Hi, they assigned me to work with you, Miss Ray, but you can call me Miranda. You're me if you take the next step. How? Work here during the day, go to school at night. It's so worth it.
Face your future with Whitworth University.
How would you like a quality, reliable new ride? Well, this month, the new Findlay Downtown Honda store on 3rd Avenue is loaded with great options to choose from. So stop settling for less and stop by the new Findlay Honda Superstore today.
Introducing permanent year-round outdoor lighting. cooling, and electric.
Funny Girl is the theatrical event of the season. Entertainment Weekly raves. Funny Girl is a love letter to the big old-fashioned Broadway musical. Don't miss Funny Girl. Playing First Interstate Center for the Arts October 1st through the 6th. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Allie S. asks, how many devices can my Wi-Fi handle?
That's an easy one, Allie. The average home has more devices than ever.
But our gateways are engineered to handle hundreds.
So not only will they work today,
they'll also work tomorrow.
That's our new intern.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Power all your devices with fast, reliable Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month. And ask how to get a free 5G phone. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff.
September's Extreme Team is at Northeast Community Center. We're going to be building Gene's Bean. It's going to be a training center for people who want to learn how to be in the restaurant business, how to make coffee, how to deal with customers, and it's going to be great. 4 News Now's Extreme Team, brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
How you doing? I noticed your windows could use an update.
No, our house is only 3 years old.
Well, see, here's the thing. I mean, we're offering 40% off right now, today only. You're going to want those new windows.
No, we're good. Hello?
How about them windows? Shoveler now through this. Come on.
Knock out high-pressure sales with Northwest Window and Door. Let our friendly, knowledgeable sales team help you today.
Well, today we celebrate National Black Voter Day. Black Americans are projected to account for 14% of eligible voters in the U.S. in November.
And we've seen politicians do more to target the black vote. But what matters most this upcoming election season here in our community? Marissa Rio spoke with local voters to find out.
Right now we have some major causes on the line, specifically to the black vote, because we haven't always been afforded the opportunity to vote.
The right to vote is key in American democracy.
We get to contribute our voice to whatever cause it is.
Yet not all Americans have had equal access to the polls. It wasn't until 1965 that the Voting Rights Act was enacted and racial discrimination was prohibited in the voting process. This was a long-sought fight by many black Americans, and today we highlight the black vote specifically.
Your vote counts and it matters. This is something that Sandy taught me a long time ago.
Sandy Williams was a beloved Spokane activist that passed away in 2022. As voters get ready to hit the polls this upcoming election, what matters most in our community?
So anything housing is a big deal for me. Getting some stabilization as it relates to rent. Okay, and then affordable housing.
Criminal justice reform and representation were other issues local voters said was important to them.
The importance of representation is being able to know who is in there fighting for you and your causes and what it looks like as far as who's in there fighting for your causes and what their motive is.
Both Latrice Williams and Teresa Brooks stressed the importance of going out and voting.
We have an opportunity right now. Why, when we've been afforded the opportunity, would we cast that opportunity away? How disrespectful would it be to our ancestors to do that? Get y'all tail to the polls. You know what time it is. You know what time it is. We need you. We need you.
In Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
And you can find information on how to register to vote and a list of the important dates leading up to Election Day on our website, KXLY.com.
A new poll from Cascade PBS and Elway poll found that younger voters are more optimistic about this election, but they're less likely to vote compared to other age groups. Take a look at this graph here. You can see that the people between 18 and 35, only 63% of those surveys said that they're likely to vote this November. And that's a big difference compared to those 65 and older, with 92% saying that they'll be voting. Young voters were also asked what issues matter most to them as they vote for things like the governor. And here are the top 3 responses. The economy taking the top spot, followed by housing, with one person writing. Like a lot of millennials, I think owning a home is a long shot dream at this point, but eventually I would love to own a home. To see which candidate younger voters are leaning towards, look for this story on KXLY.com.
And there's still plenty of time to register for the election. Here are some dates that you'll want to remember. In Washington, you have until the 28th to register by mail or online, and you can also register to vote in person on Election Day. In Idaho, you have until October 11th to register by mail or online. In the Gem State, you can also register in person on the day of the election.
A beautiful Saturday after a chilly morning down in the 30s, coldest morning of the season by far. We'll be heading up to a high of 72, which is exactly average. Lots of sunshine. I'll be back with the second half of your weekend forecast, plus tell you about some 80s on the way after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
More Americans choose ABC News, America's #1 news source.
In the ICU, I see patients suffering from asthma and lung disease. So the fact that Initiative 2117 would mean more toxic air pollution in Washington is unacceptable for my patients and their health. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Are you ready to stay for less and play for more? The Kootenai Casino has low room rates and our most exciting gaming yet. Book now to get your deluxe room at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $99 every midweek night in September. And join us for September Hot Spins, Weekend Super Spins, and catch the game Monday nights. Score big in September. Book your getaway at the Kootenai Casino today. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Luxurious Karastan flooring. The flooring you need to live beautifully. With the National Karastan Month Savings with Style event, you'll receive free carpet cushion with purchase of Karastan carpet, or a free Karastan area rug with purchase of Karastan hard surface flooring. Live beautifully, save beautifully with Karastan at Sandpoint Furniture, Carpet One, Floor and Home.
Fall weather can be unpredictable, causing power outages at the worst times. Don't end up cold and in the dark. Invest in a generator from AmeriWest Electric, experts in home battery backup and standby systems. Contact us today, AmeriWestElectric.com.
When your child has asthma, every day you worry about the next attack. So the fact that Initiative 2117 would mean more toxic air pollution makes it out of the question for me. 2117 is a bad deal for Washington.
Next ET.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Your behind-the-scenes first look at the SNL movie Saturday night. Plus, only we're with the new kids on the block for their big announcement.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
The stars are shining on GMA next week. Kristen Bell and Adam Brody, Kate Winslet, Uzo Aduba, Shailene Woodley, Niecy Nash, Divine Joy Randolph, Javier Bardem. New kids on the block next week on
Good Morning America.
Welcome back. Take a look at this video of a hiker's terrifying brush with death after he slipped on a rain-soaked cliffside in China. The 42-year-old was hiking up an eastern Providence mountain when he suddenly slipped, oh my gosh, and sliding helplessly down the rocky cliffside. The hiker's fall miraculously stopped by some cliffside shrubs you just saw there, which saved his life, leaving him instead with just a few scrapes and bruises. And the hiker says the experience gave him cause to reflect on life, but says he's actually more driven to explore even more than before. Look how steep that fall was. That was incredible.
His hands on that.
Yeah.
I bet he's got a few
bumps and bruises. Yeah.
That one probably stung a little bit, but my God, that was very scary.
We have so many hikers here in the Inland Northwest. I mean, I wonder if anyone's ever experienced something similar to that on our local trails.
No, I think if I were on something that steep, I might have some sort of, harness or something. That did not seem like a free climb for the faint of heart on a wet day. Beautiful hiking weather segue, because it is going to be, that perfect temperature, not too hot, not too cool, lots of sunshine. Right now in Spokane, we do have a few clouds passing through. They are just passing through and will be on their way out later this evening with clearing skies, and that's going to allow that temperature in the upper 60s to drop into the mid to upper 30s. 66 right now in Coeur d'Alene. Sunny at the airport, looking to the east over the Veterans Memorial Bridge on I-90. See a few clouds passing through. 4 things to know about your weather. There's a frost advisory tonight for much of the region, a freeze warning for the valleys of northeastern Washington. So cold weekend mornings. Saturday will be a little bit cooler than Sunday, and then we have a big warm up on the way next week. So if you can get your vegetables and your pretty flowers through the next couple of mornings, you should be good to go for a while. So it might be worth it if you live in this blue area to go cover things up, especially if you live in one of those neighborhoods where you know you're prone to some colder nights than perhaps some of the surrounding area. Vinegar Flats, some of the spots up around Deer Park, Blanchard for sure. And then again in that area shaded in darker purple, that is where we have our freeze warning, where more substantial damage to crops and gardens is possible. Temperatures getting down as low as 28, so a hard freeze. Our low temperature trend, again, Sunday morning, a little bit warmer than Saturday morning. Then we're back up around average Monday, Tuesday, and then a little bit above Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be a lot above for our daytime highs. The high temperature trend takes us into the 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday, thanks to a building ridge of high pressure. Now, we will have a few more clouds drifting through on Sunday as a weak disturbance passes by to our north before the high pressure builds in. That could bring a few isolated showers to the Cascades, but we're going to be dry in town for the first day of fall. Fall officially starts at 5:44 in the morning on Sunday. That's the autumnal equinox. And then it's going to feel very much like summer for the first full week of fall, especially for the first few days up into the 80s, Jordan.
All right, Chris, soaking in that sun while we still can.
Yes.
All right, well, still ahead here, a new warning about how social media companies are using your data. That's next on 4 News Now at 6.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's our Labor Day sales event happening all month. New Sierra 2500 HDs amps and 3500 HDs as low as $59,878. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
We rent china, glassware, tents, barbecues, flatware, linen, dance floor staging, tables, chairs.
A to Z rental. No job too big, no job too small.
Jackhammers, stand doors, washers, stump grinder saws, generators, skid steer, excavator, dingoes, trailers, tractors, nailers, staplers, hole diggers, tillers, mowers, yard vac, aerators.
Call A to Z Rental at 509-924-2000 or go to rentatoz.com.
We rent everything, man.
Now open in Airway Heights.
At A to Z Rental, we rent everything.
Stay ahead of your moderate to severe eczema and show off clearer skin and less itch with Dupixent, the #1 prescribed biologic by dermatologists and allergists that helps heal your skin from within. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your eczema specialist about Dupixent.
Looking for a new appliance but don't want to wait weeks for delivery? At Fred's Appliance, our Get It Today inventory makes sure you don't have to. Thanks to our fully stocked warehouses, we have a vast selection of appliances ready for you right now. From refrigerators to washing machines, ovens to dryers, you name it, we have it ready to go. No more waiting, no more delays. Just the appliance you need when you need it. Fred's Appliance. If we advertise it, we've got it. Visit any of our showrooms and get your new appliance today.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice, relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Go to Lake Casino. At the Go to Lake Casino. Go to Lake Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
It's our Labor Day sales event happening all month long, where you'll save up to $14,000 off MSRP on a new GMC Sierra 1500. There's never any dealer-added markups on new vehicles. And ask us about our 3-day return and 7-day exchange at GMC of Riverfront Park.
4 News Now is brought to you by Northwest Window and Door.
Around the nation tonight, the FTC is sounding the alarm on how social media companies are using your data.
Now the department is asking Congress to put a stop to what some are calling vast surveillance. ABC's Andrea Fujii has more.
This morning, the Federal Trade Commission is calling on Congress to pass new privacy laws after the agency found social media companies engaging in, quote, vast surveillance on people using their apps.
You can almost bet that if you're using a free service, that you're giving up something to have that service.
The report is based on information gathered 4 years ago. Several social media and video companies, including Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, were ordered to explain how they collect, track, and use people's personal information, such as their marital status, income, and level of education. They found the companies engaged in broad data sharing and often couldn't keep track of who they were selling the information to. The report also revealed companies did not delete all user data in response to user deletion requests. And some companies used privacy invasive tracking technologies to help sell targeted advertising. Experts say consumers often have no idea how much data is being collected.
A wake-up call to the public and the consumer that you need to take action and be aware of what information you're potentially giving up in order to leverage free services.
In recent years, some companies have tightened their policies. Just this week, Instagram announced privacy protections for teens. But experts warn changes like this may not be enough.
I don't feel like these companies truly have our children's best interests in mind. I think that they have themselves in mind for the most part. And so ultimately, it becomes the parents' responsibility to really dig in and understand what their children are using.
In addition to pushing for new privacy laws, the FTC is urging companies to limit data collection and delete user data. Google and Discord responded to the report. Google saying, "We never sell people's personal information and we don't use sensitive information to serve ads." And Discord disputed the report, saying it combines very different models into one bucket. One important takeaway from all this, be sure to read the user agreements when you download an app to learn more about where your data might be going. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Well, in a shocking update, the Secret Service acting director admits failure at the July Trump rally, the first of 2 apparent assassination attempts against the former president. In a new report, the agency points to serious communications failures between the Secret Service and local law enforcement.
For example, the Secret Service did not co-locate its security room with local law enforcement. There was an over-reliance on mobile devices, resulting in information being siloed.
The acting director goes on to say employees involved will be held accountable, but didn't say what those penalties may be. He adds the agency will be making changes, but those, he says, will require resources. This comes the same day the House passed a bill that would increase Secret Service protection for presidents, vice presidents, and major candidates for those positions. Still ahead here on 4 News Now, the Boulevard Race is this Sunday. See how the funds help people living with cancer coming up.
And voters will decide the fate of Washington's Climate Commitment Act, what repealing it could mean for your wallet and your child's health.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Introducing permanent year-round outdoor lighting. Heating, cooling, and electric.
Huddle up for big wins at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. We're kicking off September with your chance to win up to $5,000 cash every Saturday. 56 Sun Club members will score a touchdown with a chance to win big. Elevate your game at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino.
Ow! Who's that sexy thing I see over there? wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too. I'd wanna be me too.
The Spokane Home Builders Association and Fred's Appliance are proud to present the 20th annual Fall Festival of Homes, featuring 16 gorgeous homes from 11 of Spokane's finest builders, like Grit and Timber and Lennar. Whether buying, looking for remodeling ideas, or decorating inspirations, find it at the Fall Festival of Homes. Visit fallfestivalofhomes.com for all the details.
I know that things feel lost and hopeless and life is out of control, but there's hope, and there are people out there that love you and care and who are praying for you without you even knowing. Freedom is possible. Your life could look totally different.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
In our For the People election coverage tonight, Washington voters are being asked to vote on several initiatives this election, including 2117. A yes vote repeals the Climate Commitment Act, which some refer to as the carbon tax. The group that worked to get this initiative on your ballot says the CCA increases the cost of living and isn't doing what the state promised.
A no vote keeps the act in place, which advocates say is necessary for the future of the state and for your child's health. Alexandra Cohen-Yards has been looking into this initiative for us. Alexandra, this is complicated.
It is. And this debate has been going on since the state passed the CCA in 2021. Its goal is to reduce 95% of greenhouse gas emissions by 2025 with a cap and invest program. Those urging you to vote no say repealing this act puts the climate in jeopardy. Those who support it say the CCA is a cover-up for, quote, a sneaky gas tax.
When your child has asthma, every day you worry about the next attack. So the fact that Initiative 2117 would mean more toxic air pollution makes it out of the question for me.
This ad was released by the No on 2117 campaign Thursday. The campaign claims that if the initiative passes, it would impact children's health. A State of Washington analysis says the Climate Commitment Act is expected to make $3.2 billion in revenue next year. Right now, it funds things like the Department of Ecology, State Parks and Rec, and Department of Natural Resources. If 2117 passes, overturning the act, 9 state agencies would each lose around $50 million every 2 years. Another $40 million would be lost in anticipated funding for programs that would improve air quality and reduce health disparities in overburdened communities. Those in support of the initiative have been critical of the Climate Act all along, specifically because they say it raised gas and energy prices in Washington. They say these funds and this revenue lack transparency, and that the goals the CCA has put out are not being met.
We cannot allow this broken program to continue being funded on the backs of those who can afford it the least. No matter how well-intentioned, the CCA is not working for Washington State.
It's hard to tell which goals the CCA has met at this point since the legislation is still new. The most recent data on emissions is from 2022, during which numbers doubled from the previous years. But this was before the CCA went into effect. The next set of data of emissions is expected to come out by the end of the year, after the election is over. Initiative 2117 is complicated, and there is a lot to it. We will continue our reporting on it. In the meantime, we're linking all the sources we used for this story in one place. Take your phone out and open the camera and scan this code. Reporting live in studio, Alexandra Cohen-Yards, 4 News Now.
All right, Alexander, thanks for that. That QR code will take you to our website. You can check those sources for yourself, so it's a great resource for you watching at home. Now, meantime, if you're a gardener out there, you're going to want to listen up and maybe cover up your tomatoes or your flowers because these temperatures are dropping, especially at night.
Some people, though, might just be ready to say goodbye to the flowers and tomatoes. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker joining us now with a frost and freeze warning.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I put something about the frost advisory on Facebook, and we did have a commenter that said, I would like to put my garden out of its misery, and boy, could I relate to that. But we do have a frost advisory. For those of you who do have a green thumb, the area shaded in light light blue. Now, most locations will not be getting down to a frost, but there will be those pockets, especially the further north you go. And in the Northeast Mountains, the sheltered valleys there, it is a freeze warning, and it's for tonight as well as tomorrow night, although tonight will be the colder of the two nights, which might be a surprise because we do have a fair amount of clouds drifting over the region right now, but they are just passing through and will be clearing later tonight and be plenty clear in time for that temperature to drop down into the 30s in many locations, including Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, 33 in Colville, Deer Park in the 20s, also 32 at Meade as well as 9 Miles. So it's going to be a chilly start to the day on Saturday, but we warm up to 72, which is exactly average, with a lot of sunshine. A beautiful start to the weekend. I'll be back with the second half of your weekend forecast in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
Thank you, Chris. High school football teams from around the Inland Northwest are gearing up for another week of Friday Night Lights.
That's right. There's no bigger matchup than our 4 News Now game of the week between Northwest Christian and Freeman High School. Sports Director Julian Minenzone joins us live from Freeman High School. And Julian, this was a popular game among our viewers.
Yeah, this game tallied about 58% of the votes that we had online and nearly 1,200 responses. That's like 5 or 6 times as many as we've been getting in the previous weeks. And it's for good reason. This game is early in the season, but it has major implications for down the line. Both teams come in undefeated, and these are the first league games for both of these teams. Now, given the talent on both sides, it could decide the Northeast 2B League title, which is important because this is the only time they go head-to-head this year. So whoever wins has an inside track at a championship and bragging rights for the rest of the season to tell their friends. Now, here's a look at some of the other games we're going to be covering tonight. Make sure to tune in to Friday Night Sports Extra for highlights, final scores. We're going to talk the Cougs as well as they're getting set to take on San Jose State. But back here at Freeman, 7 o'clock kickoff. Both teams kind of went in their locker rooms. They're going to come back out here for warm-ups. Just a sample of what's to come. And it's also going to be the featured matchup tonight on Friday Night Sports Extra. For now, reporting live under the Friday Night Lights at Freeman High School, Julian Minenzone, 4 News Now Sports.
And we are looking forward to it, Julian. Thank you for that. And Climate Pledge Arena will pay close to $500,000 in penalties and refunds over hidden fees. According to the Attorney General's office, over a 5-month period last year, the arena allegedly added a 3% surcharge without telling customers, which violates the Consumer Protection Act. According to the Attorney General's office, the surcharge was applied to over 183,000 transactions, bringing in about $162,000. According to the settlement, anyone impacted that has already filed a claim will receive a $10 payment for the inconvenience. Well, finding a free activity for your family isn't always possible, but this weekend, Valley Fest is making that easy.
Yeah, the Spokane Valley Festival kicks off tonight with the Hearts of Gold Parade. Then the rest of the weekend includes everything from cultural performances to car shows. This year's car show will feature 350 cars. You can find the classics, first responder vehicles, and military vehicles.
If you're up here at Center Place enjoying the car show, you can still walk down and enjoy all the events and the festivals and the booths and the vendors and the food all down below. So it's just really neat to be part of the whole Valley Fest event.
The Valley Fest Car Show is Sunday starting at 9 a.m. in the West Lawn Plaza. For more information on parking and everything you need to know to attend, you can go to our website, KXLY.com. Well, the second annual Boulevard Race is this Sunday, and the Community Cancer Fund is getting ready. The 4-mile race is a fundraiser and a way to show support for those battling cancer.
Our Madeline Mullins has more on what organizations the Community Cancer Fund is helping and what the race has in store.
Rallying businesses around the most important cause. That is what John Neal, the executive director of the Community Cancer Fund, says the Boulevard Race is all about.
You know, one of our taglines for the race is that we're all in the race to beat cancer, and that's what we've done, is assembling just a great group of partners that understands what we're doing, and they're also the ones that are lifting it up.
The Community Cancer Fund is an organization that helps make sure organizations that treat cancer patients have enough funding.
And so when we've been able to raise the millions of dollars through our events, it's to help those individuals so that they have transportation, so that they have housing, so that they have access.
Some of those organizations are the Ronald McDonald House, the Children's Hospital, and Washington State University. In the past 9 years, the Community Cancer Fund has raised $28 million. The Boulevard Race is just one of the ways they do that.
We've had golf tournaments. We have the big showcase every year that just wrapped up a couple months ago. Last year we had the Gonzaga basketball game in the arena.
There are so many ways to take part in the Boulevard Race. Through sponsorships, helping set up the course and energize the crowd, or running the race. This year, the Boulevard Race has a new course that starts and ends at the McCarthy Athletic Center and runs through the University District. It only costs $30 to be a part of the Boulevard Race, and you can register online at the Boulevard Race website. So far, they have about 3,000 people signed up for the Boulevard Race, and they have about 100 more spots, so they're encouraging people to still sign up while there's room before the race starts on Sunday. With 4 News Now, I'm Madeline Mullins.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Holiday Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. A nice, relaxing stay? We got you. Wanna be entertained? We got you. Wanna play golf all day? We got you. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Winning is just the beginning. So you're looking for something to do? We got you. Want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you wanna do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. At the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Winning is just the beginning.
Who isn't looking for extra ways to save some money these days, right? I'm always looking for new ways to save, but I haven't found anything better than my Ascend checking account. It's a free account that offers 3.5% of your average monthly balance. That can feed your coffee obsession for 2 weeks. Not only am I earning money, but it also has all the best features of a checking account. What's not to love?
Open your P1FCU checking account at p1fcu.org and start earning today.
Hi, I'm Chris with Tactical Plumbing. We're a well-known, locally owned company with a great reputation with our customers. While the new housing boom stays strong, we are excited to announce that we are growing our company to provide homeowners with our precision services.
Tactical Plumbing has over 30 years of combined experience, and we are now booking residential service and repair. Tactical Plumbing providing our community with carefully planned and strategically executed plumbing solutions.
Call us or visit our website today for all of your plumbing needs.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
This ship is heaven. Doctor, it's your job to keep everybody alive.
Clear. Come on.
I can tell you got beat energy.
Local radio and TV stations in every town and city need someone like you. So do what you love and bring your talent to life. Your passion, your skills, your career. You belong here.
We are less than 20 minutes away from kickoff between the Cougs and San Jose State down in Pullman. That's going to be a great game, and we'll have the highlights from that tonight on Nightside at 11 o'clock.
And if you're wondering which games to watch tomorrow, we have you covered too. ESPN's Reese Davis and Stanford's Steve Coughlin have a preview of tomorrow's triple header. You can watch right here on ABC.
Delighted to be joined by Steve Coughlin. Glad to have a real pro up here. Stanford Steve is looking forward to the triple header on ABC. Starts noon Eastern in the ACC. NC State and Clemson. Wolfpack, they haven't won in Death Valley since Phillip Rivers was the quarterback.
Yeah, and now they're going to start a true freshman. C.J. Bailey came in last week against Louisiana Tech, led a comeback win in that game, and now he goes to Clemson. Clemson off a bye week. I think the defense will dominate there.
All right, 3:30 Eastern time. SEC against the Big Ten. More of the results of realignment. LSU's already lost to USC. Now they play the other team from LA and UCLA.
Yeah, critical spot here. LSU found their ground on the road amongst chaos at South Carolina. Now they get UCLA coming in, and then South Alabama, a bye, and then they get into the teeth of that SEC schedule. I expect a lot of offense from LSU.
This is the day, Steve, that I feel like realignment becomes reality. because you've talked about the teams moving, and now we have Oklahoma hosting Tennessee, first SEC game for the Sooners.
And we're talking about defense. Oklahoma, it's been a while since they've hung their hat on defense, but that's what you expect with Coach Venables. Fascinating matchup with Josh Heupel and that offense coming in against Oklahoma and that defense, in which should be a great, great atmosphere.
And the storylines return for Josh Heupel, who led the Sooners as a quarterback to their last national championship in 2000. Now he is the head coach of the Big Orange. What a game in prime time Saturday night on ABC.
For things to know about your weather, we have a frost advisory tonight as well as Saturday night. A freeze warning for some of the northern valleys. We'll have cold weekend mornings, but a big warm up coming next week. I'll let you know what to expect after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This Saturday, Huckleberry's is having their 35% off natural living sale. Shop any of our 18 locations for natural and organic products. Vitamins, minerals, body care. Save 35% this Saturday at your local Huckleberry's Natural Market.
Elevate your game day at Caesar Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. The area's largest sportsbook is your VIP seat on the 50-yard line with massive HD screens and live betting. Only at Spokane Tribe Resort and Casino. You just win here.
North Idaho Urology, in partnership with Cancer Care Northwest, we specialize in advanced prostate cancer care.
I'm Dr. Aaron Wagner. I'm a radiation oncologist with Cancer Care Northwest. We have quite a few different treatment options for prostate cancer, ranging anywhere from standard radiation and IMRT approaches to SBRT to brachytherapy, a full spectrum of different prostate cancer treatments. We very much try to individualize their treatment plan for them.
For 3 years in a row, Chevy has earned more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards than any other brand. Whether it's a high-tech SUV, the all-electric Equinox EV, or a truck for work or play, Chevy is America's most awarded brand for new vehicle quality. Get 1.9% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on select popular 2024 Chevy SUVs when you finance with GM Financial. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Allie S. asks, how many devices can my Wi-Fi handle?
That's an easy one, Allie. The average home has more devices than ever.
But our gateways are engineered to handle hundreds.
So not only will they work today,
they'll also work tomorrow. That's our new intern.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Power all your devices with fast, reliable Xfinity Internet for just $19.99 a month. And ask how to get a free 5G phone. Xfinity, bring on the good stuff.
September's Extreme Team is at Northeast Community Center. We're going to be building James Bean. It's going to be a training center for people who want to learn how to be in the restaurant business, how to make coffee, how to deal with customers, and it's going to be great. 4 News Now's Extreme Team, brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
This Saturday, Huckleberry's is having their 35% off natural living sale. Shop any of our 18 locations for natural and organic products. Vitamins, minerals, body care. Save 35% this Saturday at your local Huckleberry's Natural Market.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Brainstorm at KXLY.com.
You ready for fall?
I'm ready. I'm so ready. I love the
so.
sweater weather, the pumpkins, pumpkin spice latte. I've never tried one, but I'm eager now that they're available.
What?
That's true. That's true.
We're going to have to talk about that in the commercial break. Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker loves fall because one of your children has a birthday.
Yes, I mean, technically, Danny was born right before the autumnal equinox. Thank you for bringing that up. 18 years ago, if you can believe that. But so on the summer side, the autumnal equinox is at 5:44 a.m. In the Pacific time zone. That is the exact moment the Earth's axis is tilted neither toward nor away. The sun equinox is from the Latin equal night, night and day, pretty close to equal, not exactly. And then the reverse starts happening. The nights start getting longer and longer. Today our high was 71. 48 to start the day. Both temperatures pretty close to average, but we're going to see some cooler nights ahead, as I've been talking about. Our records this time of year are all right around freezing. 32, the record set back in 1887. 6:51, just a few minutes until sunset. Frost advisory I want to just keep showing this. It is for the next couple of nights. So tonight and tomorrow night, you'll want to take advantage of this advisory to cover up any plants you want to survive the rest of the growing season. We've got some cold nights ahead, particularly if you live in one of those locations that gets a little bit colder than the surrounding area. We also have a freeze warning in effect for the northern sheltered valleys, Deer Park, Newport, Cusick, Medellin, Kettle Falls, Colville. All of those spots could be in danger of a hard freeze tonight as well as Saturday night. Now, it'll be a little bit warmer Sunday morning than Saturday morning, 41 in Spokane, and then we're back up around average and even above. Our high temperature trend takes us well above average. Tuesday and Wednesday looks like we have a couple more 80-degree days in our forecast before temperatures start to moderate a little bit heading into next weekend. This white line is our average high, which is going to be in the lower 70s by this time next week. Actually, it's going to be at 69 this time next week, in the 60s. But our 8 to 14-day forecast, that is September 28th through October 4th, is calling for above average precipitation, also leaning toward below average precipitation. Your planning forecast. Now, earlier in the week, we did have a chance of showers on Sunday. Taking that off, it looks like any precipitation will stay over the Cascades and into Canada, but there will be a few more clouds drifting through on Sunday than on Saturday with bright blue skies, and then more sunshine next week. Overnight lows in good shape. Again, if you can get your plants through the next couple of days, they'll have some great growing weather ahead next week.
Awesome, Chris. I've already thrown in the towel on my garden, so that's good for everybody else. But fall is officially beginning this weekend, and some trees are already starting to show those first signs of changing color.
In this week's Air for Adventure, we're taking you to Latah County for a sneak peek at the incredible views you can look forward to once the leaves really change. Let's go for a ride on the Air Force drone over the University of Idaho's Arboretum.
We are at the University of Idaho Arboretum and Botanical Garden, owner of the University of Idaho campus, started in 1982. The most amazing thing about this place is that it is all a gift to the University of Idaho. It was all done with donations, and it was all done with relatively small donations, a little at a time. So I think the idealistic goal would be to try to grow essentially every possible plant that would be hardy in this climate. And of course, that's impossible, but we do have a pretty wide range of plants here. We have over 17,000 documented plants in the Arboretum. There's over 1,100 different species. The fall foliage is pretty spectacular. We have collections of particular Eastern North American hardwoods. The maples and the oaks are pretty spectacular, but there's a whole range of other things that color. We start with fall color in the middle of September, and it'll run into early November. Lots of classes use the Arboretum. Generally, pretty much any time the weather's decent enough for classes to be out here, I'll see a class or two every day. Primary purposes of the Arboretum is to provide a place with some solitude and hopefully some beauty for people to assemble and enjoy. There is lots of gold and some silver out here, and if you look really closely, you can even find some black.
That is beautiful. And do you want to learn more about why the leaves change color? You should, because it's actually super cool. You can take out your phone and scan this QR code with your camera, and that will take you to our website where you can sign up for Matt Gray's newsletter called The Brainstorm. Every week, he'll give you an in-depth look at the weather in the Northwest and, of course, the science behind it. And he breaks it down in a great way. The next edition will be in your inbox tonight. And while you're there, you can check out Matt's fall foliage forecast, including a map of where the leaves are already starting to change around the country.
It's really interesting. Yeah. And with the start of fall this weekend means the start of the Green Bluff Fall Harvest Festival.
Right, and for weekends, starting tomorrow through October, there will be pumpkin patches, corn mazes galore. Each farm has its own fun events going on, from live music to the food and the drinks and farm playgrounds for the kids. You'll want to check out our website for a link to all the farms participating this year on KXLY.com.
And speaking of Green Bluff, another favorite activity, apple picking. Of course, we love apples here in Washington.
We have to. It's a rite of passage to live here. And though across the country, our changing climate is putting some apples at risk. And this year, apples from Michigan to Maryland are ripening 1 to 2 weeks earlier than usual, triggering a premature start to apple picking season.
We have two things happening. One is the heat this summer, which essentially sped up the ripening of the fruit that was on the tree. We also are finding bloom is starting earlier, so the clock starts early.
So to combat this, a team of researchers at the University of Maryland are developing hybrids that are more heat and disease resilient to keep apples around for future generations.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News